Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Now moving on to the particles of tamanni. So we know that tamanni, what it means, we know what tarajji means, but what particles do we use to express this meaning? So وللت التمني أربع أدوات. And tamanni has 4 particles. Okay. واحدة أصلية وهي ليت. One is the original particle, meaning the main and original particle for later is what? Sorry, the original particle for tamanni is later. Later is the only one for tamanni originally. وثلاث غير أصلية. And there are 3, so he said 4 altogether. So 1 is أصلية and 3 are non-asli. Meaning that these particles not originally meant for tamanni, they're originally meant for other purposes. But they have been brought and they have now they are used in what? The meaning of tamanni. What are these 3? So وثلاث غير أصلية, and 3 which are not asal, not original. And these 3 are what? Hal, law, and la'alla is coming up later on. Hal, for example, hal, nahu, hal, lana. What's hal used for originally? Hal is narrow istifham. Okay? Okay? Istifham. For example, فَهَلْ لَنَا مِن شُفَعَاءَ فَيَشْفَعُوا لَنَا. I wish there were some kind of interceders on our behalf. So again, he's asking a question. So even though the person asking a question, on the day of Qiyamah, when they will be aware that nobody can intercede on their behalf except with Allah's permission. So they are asking this question, is there anybody to intercede? Are there any interceders? This question itself is useless because they know the answer. So why is it interpreted to be? A tamanni. Okay? Do you understand? Okay? فَيَشْفَعُوا لَنَا. So this hal is for, in the meaning of tamanni. So originally for istifham, but here we can see it's being used for tamanni. Similarly, law is used for what? Shart. You have a shart and a jawabu shart. But you can remove the jawabu shart and you can understand from the context, it's not for a shart that if this happens, that would have happened. But just meaning if, only if. Even if that happens, isn't it? In English, you use that as well. If we had done this. Okay? For example, لَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً. If there were a return for us, we would have become from the believers. But once they pass away, they know that there's no return for us. But the question arises here, why not use later? If later is the original particle, why do we need to change from later and use hal and law and la'alla coming out later on? Emphasis, but let me explain that in more detail. Is that when you are so desperate, even though you know it's impossible, you express it as a possibility to show that your utmost desire that this thing happen. For example, when they are doing the day of Qiyamah, what will happen? They know that there's no shafi', there's no shufa'ah. They know there's no karra, no return to the dunya. But how did they express it? As a question and low, even if possible. You know what I'm saying? Expressing something which is impossible in a tamanni, which is impossible. But they're using the words hal and law, which are used normally for what? Possible things, to express this meaning. Do you understand? Even la'alla. So la'alla is also used for what? It's originally for tarajji. But sometimes la'alla is used in the meaning of tamanni. For example, here is one poem. Okay, let's do this poem. So la'alla here is used for what? Tamanni. For example, look, here he says here, أَصِرْبَ الْقَطَى هَلْ مَنْ يُؤِيرُ جَنَاهَهُ لَأَلِّ إِلَى مَنْ قَدْ هَوِيتُ أَطِيرُ. What's Hamza here? Is Hamza? This Hamza is for what? Nida. Because it'll come up in next section that Hamza can also be for istifham. Hamza can also be used for nida. So originally the main Hamza is for istifham. But sometimes the istifham is used, the hamza is also used for nida. You following? Okay? For example, so he's calling, that's why it's mansub after it. You following? Now sirb is a group, is a flock. Basically sirb is called a flock. Okay? Sirb is what? A flock. The plural is asrab. Okay? Got it? And qata is a type of bird called a sandgrouse. So he's calling out these birds. We can call it qata because it's easy, okay? So asirb al-qata, who is he calling out? Who's he calling out? Birds. So oh flock of birds, oh flock of sandgrouse. Correct? What does he say to them now? This is a quotation. Hal man yu'iru janahahu. Now again, he's used hal for question, but again he's trying to express his, because he's missing his beloved who's in a faraway land. He wants to go and visit that person. Okay. So he's saying hal, is there anyone, man mawsul, a'ara yu'iru, i'arata means to lend. To give somebody to borrow. And janah, what's janah? Wings. So هل من يعير جناحه, is there anyone, meaning amongst you birds, is there anyone who can loan me, or he doesn't say yu'iruni, but he says yu'iru, who can loan their wings. So even hal is for istifham, but what's it used for here? Tamanni. So originally it's istifham, but what meaning does it have? Because he knows that it's not possible. So it has istifham originally, but it's what meaning as well here now? Tamannin. You got it? So is there anybody who can loan me his wings? And he goes on, why? لَأَلِّي إِلَى مَنْ قَدْ هَوِيتُ أَطِيرُ. Now this word hawayah becomes two places in the Quran. It comes different places in the Quran. Okay? One is hawiya yahwa, when you love somebody. From bab sami'a yasma'u, to love. Okay? You got it? So from bab sami'a yasma'u, hawitu, from sami'a yasma'u, it means what? To love. Okay? When it comes to daraba yadribu hawa yahwi, it means to? No. وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا hawa. And I swear by the stars when they fall. So hawa can have two meanings. One is to fall. For example, وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا hawa. And the second meaning is to perish, to destroy. وَمَنْ يَحْلِلْ عَلَيْهِ غَضَبِي فَقَدْ hawa. He has not fallen. But when you fall, what happens after? If you fall off a mountain or cliff, what happens? You perish. So it can also mean to perish. So this is why this is not hawaitu. What is this? Hawitu from sami'a yasma'u. Like khashitu. Okay? So perhaps I may. So la'alli. What's la'alla? Is harf mushabbahun bil fa'il. Atiru. Ya is the ism. Atiru. Fa'il fa'in ila man qad hawitu the muta'alliq of hatiru. And man qad hawitu is a majroor. And qad hawitu is the sila of man. Perhaps I may fly to the one who I love. So you understand the translation? So, O birds of sun, O flock of sandgrouse, is there anybody who can loan me his wings? Perhaps I may fly to the one who I love. Okay, and what's the istidlal here? What's the istishhad? What are we using here? That hal, it comes secondly, but mainly here. That this la'alla is not for taraji. What is it for? Tamanni. Because impossible. And along with this, we also have hal being used for what? Tamanni as well. You following? Yeah. It's to emphasize that I could. Okay. And this is the whole poem. So get a better idea of the whole poem. So whilst we hear Mazallah at it. Bakaytu, baka yabki, to cry. So bakaytu ala silbil qata idh mararna bi. I cried upon the group of the flock of sandgrouse. When? Marra yamurru marran, to pass by. When they pass by me. Faqultu, when I said. What did he say? He said this poem that we did in the previous slide. وَمِثْلِي جَدِيرٌ بِالْبُكَاءِ وَمِثْلِي بِالْبُكَاءِ جَدِيرٌ. And somebody like me is worthy of crying. Because my mahbub is not here. I don't have mahbuba. She's not here, he's not here. Following? Okay? As I mentioned to you before, is that from nahwa, we've done this in nahwa already, that when you have later and it's followed by another sentence preceded by fa, what will happen? For example here, you have later, ya laytani. Okay, what's the desire? Kuntu ma'ahum. I wish I was with them. But then why do you want this desire? For this purpose. So if you have a sentence with a tamanni of later, and after you have another sentence that expresses why you want this tamanni, why you expressing this desire, it will come with fa and a mudari. And the mudari will be what? That will be mansoob, and we will say what? Is an an hidden here. Correct? This rule applies to later. But for these other three particles, hal, law, and la'alla, if they're used for tamanni, then it will follow the rule of tamanni and have what? The mudari after will also be in what state? Mansoob state. For example, hal. Hal is not for istifham. There's no jawabul istifham that comes mansoob. But because when hal is now used as tamanni, it will follow the grammar of tamanni as well. And you have فَهَلْ لَنَا مِن شُفَعَاء فَيَشْفَؤُونَ. No, فَيَشْفَؤُونَ. The noon is dropped off, making it mansoob. Why is it mansoob? Because of hal. Hal is not tamanni particle, but it's used in the meaning of tamanni. Therefore, it will follow the same grammatical rules. Another example, law. Law is for shart. So, but it's not amil. It's not shart. It's not adawat shart al-amila. It's ghayr amila. So it shouldn't have a mansoob say after it. But because it's used in tamanni, فَلَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً. If only we had a return. فَنَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So because of this, so later, this rule applies to later, and it also applies to the other three secondary particles when they are used in the meaning of tamanni. If hal and law and la'alla are not used in tamanni meaning, then it will not be what? Mansoob, it will be normal marfu. Okay? Following? Right. Now, last point here is that it's not in the book, but it's a good, very interesting point. That sometimes, even it links back to what we mentioned before. Sometimes the mutakallim, the speaker, may express a tamanni. Something which is impossible. In which form? He may express it as a taraji, using la'alla. Yeah, okay. Why? As you mentioned before. Because he so badly wants it, or he's trying to say that no, his claim is either he so badly wants it, he's just in disbelief, or he's trying to be arrogant. That look, it can happen. So even though it should be later, what does he use? لعل. For example, what happens here? قال فرعون يا هامان. Fir'aun said, oh Haman, بنا يبني ابني, build for me a castle or a tower. Why? Perhaps, not later. لعل, perhaps I may reach the heavens. Is that possible or impossible? Impossible. Why do you use لعل? No, I can reach, I'm a God. أنا ربكم الأعلى. I'm the highest God, so I can do all of this. So he never said later, he's saying oh, something beyond my scope. But by using la'alla, what's he agreeing to? That is what? He's trying to claim, not agree to. He's claiming that what? This is within my scope.
Is that part of arrogance? Or?
Yeah, it is. So this is obviously an arrogant part, but in other places, a person may use the la'alla, taraji particle, in the meaning of tamanni. And that's why as well, hal and law and la'alla are originally for other meanings, but you use them in tamanni instead of later, when you want to show what? The possibility of it happening. Okay?
Well, could you say he thought that?
Whether he thought he was really deluded, or he knew but he just trying to confuse the people. Follow? سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك.